First Lieutenant Richard Atwood of the U.S. Aviation Corps.
Thank you. Richard Atwood is from another prominent family in manufacturing. Some of us may be familiar with the factory Bloom and Atwood. That's his family. Richard was living in Beacon Falls and working at the Beacon Falls Rubber Shoe Company. When he was drafted into World War I, he was I think a supervising assistant. He was management. But he was sent to Gerstner Field in Louisiana. Gerstner Field was a pilot training camp in Louisiana. Now, when we're saying pilots, you need to think about what they were flying. These were those old biplanes, right? And these are the pilots with their leather caps and their goggles and their scarf flying in the breeze. This is Richard Atwood. He was the first lieutenant in the Aviation Corps. There was no Air Force then. It was part of the U.S. Army. About 500 pilots from Gerstner went across to fight in World War I on the Western Front. Early in the war, the planes were used mostly for reconnaissance, so they would fly above the enemy lines and see where the enemy was. After a time, they learned they could drop bombs from these planes. I think literally they dropped bombs. And as the planes improved somewhat after a couple years, these pilots, known as aces, would engage in mid-air dogfights. You know, with what you call Snoopy and the Sopwith Camel, right, and the Red Baron. That's what they were doing. Now, I don't know. I have been able to confirm whether First Lieutenant Atwood was in Europe or he stayed at Gerstner to help train other pilots. Either way, it was very important for the war effort. Technology, having advanced technology is always important for military efforts, going back to ancient times, obviously. I do know that in August of 1918, Richard married a local woman from Louisiana. They had a small private ceremony. It was at 9:30 at night, which I couldn't figure out why they would have it so late, but times were different. And when the war ended on November 11th, 1918, 1 month after that, in December, Richard was discharged. So I didn't know that until recently, so I have him on my list. But I'm convinced that he contracted Spanish flu while in camp. Because as he was coming north with his new bride, they got as far as Atlanta, where he took seriously ill and died. During World War I, 53,000 U.S. troops died in combat. About 40,000 died of the Spanish flu. Richard Atwood was 23 years old. Okay, so we're heading this way.